Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I have the May 18th, 2022 hurricane season update. We are approaching fast, even though we're technically speaking not in the hurricane season. But I'm pretty much going to be calling these hurricane updates anyways from now on, as June 1st is coming up. It's coming up fast. So right now, I wanted to show you a few things, see where we at in comparison to other years, how the progress of sea surface temperatures, weather patterns, so far, so on, and see if what it's looking like we're gonna have for 2022 hurricane season. What you guys are watching right now is the anomalies from normal, meaning um, I have explained this before, but where you see the zero, that's basically normal sea surface temperatures. Where you see blue, that means colder than average, and then yellows, orange, reds, that means basically stronger or warmer, I should say, warmer sea surface temperatures. As you can see, La Nina very prevalent. The majority of the Pacific is cooler than normal. I mean, you do have a little bit of a patch here, not a little bit, but you know what I mean in comparison to the rest of the ocean. But not the majority of it is under the average. Now, if we take a quick look at the Atlantic, you're gonna notice that there's a few patches, but the majority of the Atlantic, especially the Gulf of Mexico, is actually running above average. Now, I wanted to do a comparison. I wanted to show you guys, this is what we're looking at right now as of May 17th, which is the latest update or the latest map from yesterday. Now, I'm going to do a comparison with 2005 because I'm going to show you something that is going to, it's going to potentially shock you. Let's put it that way in comparison to 2005. I'm sorry. Now, if you all remember, 2005 was one of the most memorable easy to remember seasons because of the unusual amount of hurricanes that formed. You had the 2004, which it was a devastating season specifically for Florida. We had 3 hurricanes within a span of 6 weeks. So every 2 weeks, basically, we had a hurricane making landfall in Florida. Then you had 2005, where we had Katrina, we had Wilma, and other major storms that impacted a lot of places. So the reason why I'm going to show you this is because I'm going to show you also an article where it's not good for the hurricane season, and neither for anybody. But right now, again, this is 2022. Let me go ahead and show you the difference in 2005. Now remember, 2005 was a devastating season, but you can see how here in this area there's a lot of warmer sea surface temperatures, but then you have a good amount here where it was cooler than average at this time around. See, May 17th also. The Gulf, the majority of the Gulf was it was below average. The Pacific actually was the majority of it, as you can see. At least where the majority of the storms form, they're actually, it was warmer than average. But let me switch back. So this is what 2005 looks like. This is what it looks like now. You can see definitely that the majority of the Pacific is blue, but the majority of the Atlantic is actually yellowish and orange and red, which it means warmer than average. And this is a concerning factor going into excuse me, 2022 hurricane season, is the fact that sea surface temperatures are well above average, and especially when you compare it to other seasons where there have been, you can call them hyperactive season, where you had a ton of formation, storm formation, hurricanes, major hurricanes, etc. So the fact that this time around, so May 17th, sea surface temperatures are looking warmer than other years. And again, let's take another look. You can see the difference. How right now is definitely, you see, pretty much only a little bit of a spot here. But other than that, the Gulf of Mexico, well above average, especially what they call shelf water, which is the closer water to the coast. So this is a concerning feature, we could say, that we're going to have a potentially a hyperactive season. Now, let me show you this other chart here. This is, excuse me, where you see red, that means unfavorable conditions, yellow means neutral, and green means favorable. I'm showing you this because some of the forecasting models are saying that we may have, excuse me, that we may have some, I'm going to mute the microphone a second. Sorry about that. So where you see red, that basically means that conditions are not favorable. And as you can see right now, it's early in the season and the majority of the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and Atlantic are not favorable for development. Now the Pacific is going to start showing some signs of potential development, as I'm going to show you in a little bit. But this is not set in stone. Things can still change, and storms can still form. Now, let's take a look at the CDAS Nino 3.4 index. As you can see, still in La Nina territory, about 1 or -1, which like I've mentioned before, the deeper or the more negative, the stronger La Nina is. So far it has just flatlined here, a little bit of an increase here, but again, it's not going to follow a straight line. So it's going to go up, down, and then we just have to keep an eye on that. But basically, everything is still in La Nina territory. Let's take a look at another chart which shows, again, we need 26 degrees Celsius for development. As you can see, the majority of the areas that are close to land are well above, not necessarily well above like 27, but anything over 26 is concerning. And as you can see, the majority of it could, with the right conditions, it could potentially support tropical activity. Now, let's take a look at the satellite imagery. As you can see, a little bit of moisture way out there in the northern Atlantic. This is what I wanted to show, and is this area here. Why? Because the GFS, which is one of the forecasting models, have been for the past week, on last week's video, I actually show where it was kind of, it was showing a hurricane coming this way. Is that going to happen? Most likely not. But again, when you start having these forecasting models, and not just one, but when you have multiple forecasting models showing something, we need to pay attention, because not necessarily what they show is exactly what's going to happen, because it's going to change. But the fact that multiple forecasting models are hinting that we may have some tropical activity, that's something that we need to definitely pay close attention. Now, in the Pacific, as of May 15th, so 3 days ago, they are officially on the hurricane season on the Pacific. So the Pacific, this area here, is already on its season. Now, some forecasting models are saying that this wave that you guys see here is expected to cross over to the Pacific and potentially show some development. As the conditions in the Pacific are more favorable at the moment than the general Atlantic, that's why some of the forecasting models, even though some had it going this way, which is still a possibility, but it's looking like it may cross over to the Pacific and develop over here. Now, let me go ahead and show you the forecasting models, so you guys can see what some of the models are saying. So let's go ahead and look at the GFS. Now, as we go in the future, you're gonna notice the low pressure here, and as we move forward in time, you see how what I was showing you in the previous graph is actually moved over to the Pacific, and that's what you're seeing here developing. Now, it doesn't go, nothing much happens, but then you see a bit of a low pressure, low pressure there. Okay, well, I guess let me X out of that. That didn't really do anything. I pressed it by mistake, but this is what I meant to do. But what you're seeing here, that's the same low pressure that it has been flip-flopping by the model basically. But the majority of the forecasting models, let's see, like the European. Now the European it's really not doing much with it. A little bit of moisture, but not much happening. The Canadian model, let's see what this one is saying. These models are updated multiple times a day. Now, the Canadian model is actually taking that wave or that low system pressure, and moving it actually across the Yucatan Peninsula and starting to develop in the Gulf. Now let's see the Navy model. So it looks like it hasn't updated yet. But as you can see, it's just a little bit of flip-flopping here and there. And that's typical because right now there's not a lot of data going on since we're not officially on the season. A lot of the hurricane hunters, obviously, they're not going to be flying out there if there's nothing. But once we go into the actual season, then they start sampling the atmosphere and also looking for waves that have potential of developing. But right now, that's what we're looking at as far as sea surface temperature, well above average, as you can see, what I showed you before, versus 2005. We're looking at much warmer sea surface temperatures as of right now, which is concerning. 2005 had a blockbuster. It was a blockbuster season. Multiple storms, multiple hurricanes, multiple major hurricanes. Again, every season is different. It doesn't mean that it's going to turn out the same way, but it's something that we need to pay attention. Now, the article that I wanted to show you is this one here from the Houston Chronicle. And it was actually published by the University of Miami, Nick Shea, as of today. And it's basically, I'm going to read some of what it says here to you guys, so you have an idea, especially if you're listening to this video and you can watch what I'm showing. But basically the title is Bad News for the 2022 Hurricane Season. The loop current, a fueler of monster storms, is looking a lot like it did in 2005, the year of Katrina. So Katrina was one of them. One of those storms, Wilma and others that formed in 2005. Now, what are they talking about here? What is the loop current? Okay, well, let me read to you the explanation. So basically, the loop current, it's an area in the Gulf. Now, it is attached also to the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is like a path of warm water coming out of the Gulf going into the Atlantic. When storms go through that current, because of the warm temperatures of the water, it's like jet fuel for storms, especially when they're curving out to sea away from the United States. If they go through that path of where all that water is being pushed out of the Gulf, this is like jet fuel for the storms. It will give them a lot of support so they can intensify. But basically, when the loop, I'm going to read a little bit to you, and basically what it says is when the loop current reaches this far north, is early in the hurricane season, especially during what's forecasted to be a busy season, it can spell disaster for folks along the northern Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida. So they're talking about it's let me see if I can go back. Let me see here. Let me find. Okay, well, this is a closer map. But basically, what they're saying is around this area. If you look at a map that it has temperature, water temperature, you're gonna see that even though this is pretty warm, this area here where I have the blue circle, it normally stays warmer than the rest of the Gulf. And that's what the Gulf, the stream is, the loop stream basically. That's what they're referring to here. Now, the article further says, if you look at temperature maps of the Gulf of Mexico, you can easily spot the loop current. See, that's exactly what I just said. It curls up through the Yucatan Channel between Mexico and Cuba into the Gulf of Mexico, and then swings back out through the Florida Strait, South Florida, and Florida current. See, that's exactly what I told you. So basically, it's located here between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula and Florida. And then it kind of goes out through here. See, kind of like something like that. I mean, it's not a pretty drawing, but you get the idea. It goes like that. So like I was mentioning, when you get hurricanes, that, let's say they're coming this way, they miss Florida, and they kind of go loop that way like this. Because of this, jet stream is again like jet fuel. When they curve like that, they tend to intensify. Or if the storm, let's say that it didn't curve and it just went straight that way, or it came from south, Western Caribbean, south of the islands, and it went through here. This is basically the spot where they will rapid intensify, and that's exactly what happened with Hurricane Katrina. Katrina kind of came like that. Let me get the pen again. It kind of made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in Florida, and it started moving this way. The fact that super warm temperature portion in the Gulf it made direct contact with it, and it intensified to a monster hurricane. And that's what they're saying in this news article, that's why we may see a really busy season. But further on the article, it says when a tropical storm passes over the loop current or on one of its giant eddies, large rotating pools of warm water that spin off from the current, the storm can explode in strength as it draws energy from the warm water. This year, the loop current looks remarkably similar to the way it did in 2005, the year Hurricane Katrina crossed the loop current before devastating New Orleans. So that's exactly what I said. Now, 2005 actually was a record-breaking season, as it formed 27 storms. Now, out of those 27 storms, 7 became major hurricanes. And like I mentioned to you before, Wilma was one of them, Katrina, and I forgot about Rita actually, but Rita also formed that year. Now, the author of the article keeps saying, I have been monitoring ocean heat content for more than 30 years as a marine scientist. The conditions I'm seeing in the Gulf in May of 2022 are a cause for concern. So this is coming from an expert, we could say, that has been tracking sea surface temperatures for over 30 years. One prominent forecast anticipates 19 tropical storms, 32% more than average, and 9 hurricanes. The loop current has the potential to supercharge some of those storms. So why the loop current worries forecasters? The article continues to say, warm ocean water doesn't necessarily mean more tropical storms, but once tropical storms reach waters that are around 78 degrees Fahrenheit or 26 degrees Celsius or warmer, they can strengthen into hurricanes. So, in mid-May of 2022, satellite data showed that the loop current had water temperature 78 or warmer, down to about 100 meters or 330 feet. By summer, that heat could extend down to around 500 feet or 150 meters. So, why is this concerning? Is when you have at such depths, you have a lot of warm temperature, like the article mentioned and I mentioned before. This is jet fuel basically for the storms. The eddy that fuel hurt. See, this is something that happened in 2021 already. That a storm Ida in 2021. That area of a pool of warm water than normal in the Gulf. It had water temperatures of 86 degrees at the surface. All the way down to about 509 feet. So if you guys remember, Ida rapid intensified into a Category 4 when it went through that area. So that's something that is a reason why a lot of these experts are concerned about this particular phenomena, we could say, that is happening. Now, a lot of things can change. We just have to wait and see what happens. And it's not the only ingredient that will help the storms form, but it's one of the main ingredients. So I wanted to share all this information with you guys. Another update as we are approaching to the actual or official start of the 2022 hurricane season. Anything changes, if that wave that I show you that is down here actually forms, I will keep you guys posted and definitely informed. That's what I do. I'm going to try to post videos every week. If a weather event like a new storm form or a hurricane or whatever actually does develop, I'm going to try to make or upload videos more frequently. But right now, once a week until at least the beginning of the season. And if there are more tropical activity, then I'll make more videos. But right now, that's my goal, at least for the next few weeks. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comment section below. Any comments, any suggestions. If you want to talk about weather, I love weather, so I'll definitely reply to the comments. And I really, really appreciate you guys watching and taking the time to watch this video and sharing with other people. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, @BadWeatherFreak. And I post photos, interesting things, severe weather outlooks, especially if there are something going on with us in regards to tornadoes and other issues. So make sure to follow me there. Appreciate your time. Let's make sure, I want to keep growing this channel. Help me get to 400 subscribers. One thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to go into probably more detail in the future about I'm planning on doing a giveaway once I reach 500 subscribers on my channel. So stay tuned for that. Spread this video, talk to others about my channel. Help me grow the channel, and once we reach 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. But again, I'll go into more details in the future once we get closer to that goal. But right now, let's hit 400 subscribers. I appreciate it one more time. Super thankful of you guys watching my videos and taking the time to follow me. Other than that, stay safe. Have a good day.